Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I hope, I hope that we all have certain values, certain guiding principles, according to which we live our lives, and we follow them as much as we can. And sometimes we decide that certain values will become virtues, which is those values, those virtues you have to practice over and over again. It's not only to say, well, I like justice, but when you're put in a position of distributing justice, you are an unjust person. So you're a virtuous person if you practice, your virtues, which is they could be different according to each of us. There's no secret that I really love and I try to live my life according to the ancient Greek virtues, four of them, or the four cardinal virtues, which are courage, wisdom, prudence, and justice. These are the four. There are some more, but minor. These are the main ones. And there's no secret that I really much like or admire people displaying this kind of virtues, especially courage and wisdom, prudence as well, and also justice. I don't think we should be passive individuals that will just, look at our own development only and not try to make the world a better place according to our values, according to our virtues, which makes us obviously subjective. But in the analysis of evidence or facts, in order to distribute justice or display courage, we have to employ objectivity. Again, I started with this because I'm going to move to one individual who I admire so far very much, and his name is Dr. Jaishankar. He is the, let's put it this way, Foreign Minister of India. I don't like him because he's a good-looking guy or anything like that. I like him for what he said and how he said it and towards whom. I think he displayed all these four ancient Greek virtues: courage, wisdom, prudence, and justice. Now, regarding justice, justice in his smackdown of his imbecilic counterpart of United States of America, which is Antony Blinken. I have here an article where we have Dr. Jaishankar, or the Foreign Ministry of India, smacking the tards, which is the people who think less because they have bigger muscles. That usually happens in reality. The bigger the muscles, the less brains. Why? Hold on. You can have them both. We can have them both. But look at the lion. The lion is not terribly intelligent. Why? Because he's strong. Look at the fox. It must be. The fox has to be intelligent to survive because it's not that strong. So you have to kind of be intelligent. So it's, in our surviving skills, we develop according to our physical abilities, mental abilities, and so on. So United States, unfortunately, due to his military power, economic power, political influence, lost the art of diplomacy. So it says, I don't have to negotiate, I just take. Well, okay, that is the attitude of a strong lion on the savannah. But the lion is not going to be smarter than a jackal on the savannah. Why? For the reasons I already explained. So unfortunately, the United States used to have both at one point, and it seems like it's losing it. As remember, I always say United States diplomacy is based on four tools. Since 1991, it dropped everything else. Diplomacy, the ability to convince people to discuss, debate. No, they don't need it. They have threats, blackmail. Blackmail. Then they have regime change, which is covert operation through spontaneous uprisings or demonstrations. And the last one, straight bombardment. I want to queue up. Unfortunately, this is what Pax Americana looked in the past, 33 years, since 1991, when there was no more opposite pole. And we see how that works with the invasions of so many countries. Invasions not to bring democracy and freedom, to them up, basically. So what did the Americans do? Now, they threaten. They threaten and they shame everybody. I haven't heard any other country on this planet using that shaming method. No, that, hey, you're not good enough, you violate these rights, you don't give these rights, you don't blah, blah, like the Al Capone. And that is just a justification to smack you. When you don't do what Al Capone tells you to do, he's gonna warn you, he's gonna threaten you, he's gonna blackmail you, and then he's gonna say, you know what, because you don't, maybe he's gonna try the, as I said, the uprising, the regime change with CIA and operatives, the cells in your country. Then they will say, before they bombard you, well, we bring freedom, democracy, and human rights that you violate. And they start pointing at your human rights violations because they're perfect. We are perfect here. Unless we need to screw up a certain kind of group, and then, or that group, and then when we do that, then we're back in business into living a kumbaya life. So what happened here? The United States could not, they tried to threaten India and China. Hello. India didn't work. They tried to blackmail with money and sanctions, did not work. Uprising, they tried with ethnic uprising and with religious uprising, didn't work. The fourth so-called tool in the US's diplomatic toolbox cannot be used, military bombardment of India. So it's out of the table. So now Blinken is after use the third one, they're going to try using the third one to foment ethnic division and problems and religious divisions in India. That's going to be it. So Mr. Blinken tells India that you don't respect human rights. You're bad dudes. We tell you that because we are in charge of you somehow. Always lecturing everyone. Why? Why? Because you want to change things into whose image? Well, if we are free as countries, then we're supposed to do whatever we want internally. But anyway, the goal is here, India has to follow orders, China has to follow orders, everybody has to follow orders. So let me show you how Mr. Jaishankar or his office smacked Blinken and his office. I'm not happy that a foreign country, a foreign ministry smacks my foreign ministry and my country. But these are the imbeciles we have. What am I supposed to do? As I said, the virtues are applied regardless of, is the enemy or not. Courage is displayed by your troops and the enemy's troops. That's courage is universal. It's, if you remember the philosophy of forms, Plato's philosophy of forms, they just are over there. We just use them in our flavor. But they are over there. It's not like the Chinese courage only, or the Israeli courage, or the Americans, or the Indian courage. It is. We just use it as Israeli courage, Russian courage, Soviet courage, German courage, American courage. That's what we do. So let me show you here how the smackdown occurred. Obviously, this comes from Russia Today. This is from the 26th of April 2024. India hits out at US allegations of human rights abuse. Why? They tried to put you in an impasse. This is Dr. Jaishankar, fantastic, lectures the imbecile, because this is a weasel. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. New Delhi says a State Department report criticizing its response to violence in Manipur shows, and I'm quoting, poor understanding of the country. No, dumb understanding of the country. But I don't think it was a poor understanding. I think it's a goal of destabilizing India. Again, violence in Manipur. What about India? I never heard India talking about the Minnesota riots. Or those for George Floyd, remember? Yeah. In Portland, Oregon, in Minnesota, and in many other places in the United States. I even hear, or right now with the Palestinian protests against and promote and support of. I didn't hear the Indians saying, hey, America, what are you doing? You're arresting those guys. Or hey, you arrested the Capitol rioters on the January 6th. You call them this and you call them that. There were political demands over there. Political demands. And you do a sedition. There was a sedition or whatever they the insurgents. How do they want to call it? Anyway, that was a political uprising to a certain extent. Demands. That's why they made the capital. Did you hear India saying anything about it? Did you hear India telling the Americans, you arrest protesters at the universities? Did they say, no, none of my business. We don't lecture you. You don't fucking lecture us. Hey, it doesn't work that way. So let's go back to the article. New Delhi has condemned a US State Department report containing allegations of human rights violations in the country. The Human Rights Report of 2023 claimed that significant abuses had occurred in the Indian state of Manipur last year. I do not know if that's true or not, and that's none of my business. That's India's business. Now you can say, well, Emil, you have values. Yes, but if I can intervene, I can have an opinion on that. I say, well, I know what violence. I don't know enough about it. I don't know anything enough. But as to have someone else coming and condemning you and telling you that you're violating, I understand if there would be United Nations, that would be a different story. Even though United Nations, again, that's the watchdog, not United States, United Nations. It's like I come and tell in your family, hey, you shouldn't talk like that with your child. Or allow your child to, put another dick next to a dingy-lingy. Who the fuck am I? Well, I have my own values here. Why don't you mind your own backyard over there? Clean it a little bit for me. So, let's go. And it says, while attacks on minorities, journalists, and dissenting voices has been recorded elsewhere in the country, a violent ethnic conflict has been underway in Manipur since last May, resulting in more than 200 casualties and a displacement of thousands of people. And I'm quoting the report. The Indian government took minimal credible steps. So minimal, that means they didn't intervene. Credible, that means whatever they did is not credible, it's just a lie, or action to identify and punish officials who may have committed human rights abuses, the US report alleged. Because the United States knows shit. A spokesperson for the Indian Foreign Ministry slammed the document as, quote-unquote, very biased, and claimed that it showed, and I'm quoting, a very poor understanding. Now that's diplomacy. I would say a dumb understanding. Shit, you don't know anything, squat. But that's not diplomacy. He added that the government attaches no value to the report. That means we ignore you, screw you. New Delhi has responded sharply on a number of occasions to US criticism. Only US can criticize everybody of its policies, as well as comments on issues that it regards as internal matters, end quote. When the US Department commented on the arrest of prominent opposition leader Arvind Kejriwal last month, New Delhi quickly summoned an American diplomat to strongly object to the remarks. How about my friend, what's his name, the Pakistani former Prime Minister, Imran Khan? The Americans are all good with that. I think that's abuse over there. They tried to do to Trump the same thing they did to Imran Khan. That's my assessment on that one. Where are these guys? No, because they have CIA operating in Pakistan, and they have Pakistan by the balls. With what? Money, money, money. Aid, they call it. The CIA hits targets in a sovereign independent country of Afghanistan at will on the terrorist sites. From where? From Pakistan. So shut up. Before you lecture me, solve your little garbage over there. Hypocrisy, to the heavens, to high skies, whatever. India has also taken exception to the US comments on its new citizenship law, calling them misplaced, misinformed, and unwarranted. There's none of your business, mofo. Last year, the US Commission on Internal Religious Freedom, so religious, and then you have the ethnic. A federal government body asked the Biden administration to designate India as a, and I'm quoting, country of particular concern under the US Religious Freedom Act. It described alleged efforts to, and I'm quoting, silence activists, journalists, and lawyers abroad as a serious threat to religious freedoms. Yeah, I didn't hear you talk about Ukraine freedom, the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine. Say it, motherfuckers. Say it. No bias. Yeah, that's why no credibility. I want to hear the same garbage that has serious concerns with the Indians having serious concerns with Zelensky's decrees. No, but we defend democracy in a country that suspended democracy. Hey, martial law. Mother. So much garbage, man. So much garbage. New Delhi criticized the body for what it called a motivated and biased approach towards India. Correct. Lately, ties between New Delhi and Washington have been tense following a US court indictment accusing an Indian government official of involvement in failed assassination attempt on a controversial Sikh separatist leader Gurpatwant Singh Panun, who is based in New York. India launched a high-level probe to investigate the US accusations, but there has not been any update about the findings. Earlier this week, Indian Foreign Minister, there's the doctor, Subrahmanyan Jaishankar slammed coverage of an ongoing Indian election in Western media, free media, mind you, claiming that they assume they are political players in India. Yep. The ongoing election has been marked by a string of unflattering reports in the Western press about Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his alleged, and I'm calling, crackdown on opposition leaders, particularly Kejriwal. Now, what happens in your family, it's your family. If you commit a crime in your country, in your family, we have the United Nations body to investigate it. It's international. You have the steps, but you have another neighbor telling you what to do according to their behavior, which is again hypocritical. What they claim and point the finger to others, they do it themselves. But somehow these guys are clean. I mean, if you look from these guys' perspective, they don't even think about what I said. What do you mean? What do you mean? But you look from the other end, the victim and the perpetrator, the criminal. The victim feels the pain. The perpetrator, the criminal, doesn't feel the pain. The victim will always forget the trauma caused by the whatever criminal act was done on her, for instance, in this case, let's put it this way. But he will not. He will look at it as if he's not punished. And Al Capone is not punished. Why? Biceps. Okay, just kidding. When you punch, you have the triceps and shoulder, anyway, and everything. So here you have, my friends, Dr. Jaishankar, and not only India is a strong, independent, sovereign country. Back off. Will they? No. What's interesting, the Americans, remember, before Blinken went to talk to the Chinese, I think that was the last, it was like an ultimatum. Blinken is in Beijing, is in China, I think he still is over there. Before he went, he came with a little report saying that there's the ongoing genocide occurring in China and serious human rights violations in China. And then he took off and landed in China. And China did not roll the red carpet, and third-tier official waited for Blinken. The foreign ministry of the big country of the United States of America was left in rain at the airport like garbage okay? So why would you do that? And then you come over there and tell them you gave them an ultimatum to the Chinese, and this is to the Indians? Would they try to destroy Russia through Ukraine, obviously? You can't fight. You're not that strong. You're not that strong, and with the ideology and with diversity, inclusion, and equity garbage, the lights will turn off. But hey, maybe they want it. Maybe the interests wanted it that way. The problem is, it seems like they don't have the balls or the ability to screw the other ones up. Or maybe the other guys are winning. Do you want to lose? Well, if you don't want to lose, then you got to change something in our system. Big and hurry. And it's hard. It's hard. Not that, but it's hard. Why? You got the culture. You got the curriculum in schools. You have the Hollywood. You have the media. You have the interest. You have the campaign donations. You have the politicians. That's the whole system. But we are the people. Power to the people, right? Where is that at? Dead and gone. So thank you very much, India, for showing how an independent, strong, sovereign country is. With its faults, but they're their faults. As America has its faults, no? Oh, my bad. But it's their faults. It's our fault. Or Canada. But it's only one country that goes around and tells everybody how they should run their family. Thanks, but no thanks. Bang. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.